Talk about the Winston Churchill quote that you start off. We talked about the two beautiful lines that you ended the book with. Talk about how you lead all of us into this incredible life, which you started summarizing now, of Winston Churchill, which is a great quote.
Well, he's my hero, and I think he's everybody's hero, because he was the only guy standing against Hitler. He said, man is spirit. And I think if man is not face or height or
that's what Bobby was.
Your spirit. You know, we know that. We know that people will fight on when there's no hope, or people who will transcend their backgrounds, who will not be the Mick, but the guy who really understood people's problems and became better than he was born. And I think it's about spirit and how you grow, and the complicated relationship he had with Joe McCarthy, where he would say things in his diary, drunk the last 3 hearings, and then he would go over and see him and sit there while McCarthy would be in a stupor, and he'd talk to McCarthy's wife. When McCarthy died, he got his widow's new husband a job, and he would look out for the POWs when everybody else forgot about the Bay of Pigs. Bobby's trying to get those people back. You know, he's working with Eleanor Roosevelt, getting them back. He'd be worried about the kids that were having the jet hoses turned on in Birmingham. He's in the middle of the night sneaking off with Harry Belafonte, finding out how to get labor leaders that could pay their bail, all secretly. No applause. He had a good. He liked women too. I never get into that part because I'm not interested in it. But he wasn't some saint that way. But he was. His brother said that about him. Teddy and Jack both said their brother they looked up to morally. We don't have today as a moral leader. I mean, we don't. If Trump said something about moral, we'd all sort of chuckle. In fact, when he says evil, you go, how can you say the word evil? You don't even know evil. What is that? That's not a world you know. That's not a spectrum you're even familiar with. But Bobby said we can't attack Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis because he said we can't just kill all those people. Russians, Cubans, just start slaughtering them. We're not going to do what the Japanese did to us because we thought that was morally wrong. We don't do sneak attacks. There's something about having moral leadership to be able to walk into. Here's the night Martin Luther King is dead. Now this is before Twitter, social media, and so people didn't get the message right away. Maybe it was a better time, but it was different, and you waited for the news. So Bobby goes into Indianapolis. He had just spoken to Notre Dame and Ball State that afternoon. And he just told an African-American kid, I believe this country's good. I think there's more white people and more black people that are good people that are going to make it. And he's feeling, then he finds out the king's been assassinated. And he said, why did I tell that kid to be hopeful? And so he shows up in Indianapolis. The police refuse to take him into this tough neighborhood, black neighborhood. Won't take him in. He goes in on his own. He stands up on a truck in front of all these faces of people hopeful, had not heard yet. In fact, I got it on the NBC tape because I can get that stuff, the NBC tape. And it said, he says, do they know yet? And the guy says, no. So yes, the first thing he's going to do is tell them that Martin Luther King is dead and has just been shot by this white guy. And in a very awkward human way, he talked about his brother being killed by a white guy, which sounded so hokey at the time, like so what? But it was his way of saying, you know what, we're all victims here, and we got to not go to war with each other.